Hi, Liz. I'm good. You're muted.
Sorry. It's a state of being muted. How are you, Velma?
I'm wondering how. Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Hello, how are you?
I'm wondering
Good. How are you?
down here twice.
I'm good.
I'm very well.
And Thelma, congratulations. I heard that you're teaching.
Yes, today at 7:30.
Yes, congratulations.
Y'all should join my class.
I didn't hear you.
I said you also join my class.
That's at a bad time for me on Mondays. That's a bad time. I got
Okay.
other communities that I'm involved in.
Same here. I have a book group from 7 to 8:30 on Mondays.
Oh, okay.
Are you coming Wednesday maybe to Kundalini though?
Yeah.
We missed you last week.
Say it again, Liz.
I know. You know what? I miscommunicated with Christine, John. I wanted to join virtually, but I sent her a weird note, so she canceled my virtual thing.
Yeah, because I think she said that you were in some kind of a webcast, a web something or another, web seminar.
Yeah, I had
So,
yeah, I'll be there. I'm going to come in person this Wednesday, I think.
okay, well, tell me about it.
Okay.
I'm not doing in-person things right now, and as well as I have a lot of I have bursitis, so my left side is like just gone.
Okay.
So I prefer to do virtual things at this point, but at some point I will come to Kundalini. Yeah, at some point I will do that.
It would do my heart good to see you in person, John. You know that?
Likewise. Were you in the book club yesterday?
I was.
Oh, okay.
What an amazing meeting.
Velma, hello everybody, it's Christine. I love you, honey. We got to get you to sign out before you log into Wellness Living and to register or click on, go into zoom.com and make sure you've signed out and you have it under Velma, unless you're teaching. If you're teaching, it needs to be under info at. It's not a problem. It's not messing folks up. I just, so people won't see your name on everything.
Cushion. I have a strap today. If you could use something like that for things that would bring your arms closer to touch. And please close your eyes if you'd like, or settle your gaze. And begin like you're pulling in silk with your inhale. So you're smoothing out breath, giving your nervous system a signal that this is something different, that the time is now for you, with you. And coming into this practice, which very much prioritizes moving in a way that communicates respect. Breathing in a way that communicates respect. Paying attention in a way that communicates respect. And if you like, you could bring either one hand over the other across the heart, or one hand on heart, one hand on belly. Honoring the physical vessel that you bring to your practice. Opening up your awareness And the intent that we're working with today is integration. And the way I've been thinking about that is beginning to find a relationship between parts. And so it may be very unique to each person, the way that you take it in, but feeling for the way that the physical body relates to the energy body as a starting point. So feeling into the vibration of the breath, which literally sends vibrational lines through the tissues. So that's one way that the energy body and the physical body come together. And the incredible brilliance of this practice is that it begins to help us go from being in disconnect and fragmentation, which can show up as many different ways, into connection, integrating subtle body and physical body. And we'll work with Brahmari, which is an incredible way to keep feeling for that relationship, the way the subtle body sends vibrational lines through the tissues. So creating an inhale and then creating a humming buzzing of any pitch on exhale. Doing about 5 at your own pace, playing with the pitch like you're singing yourself a love song, if you like. And when that is complete, allowing yourself to sense the vibrational effect of that, feeling for energy body integrating with physical body. And begin to start with just the cervical spine, tucking the chin, and then pulling the chin back. You could give yourself an assist. Press the back of the head into your hand, press the crown of the head towards the ceiling, looking up, and then continuing on, one more like that. And then take it into the upper back, tucking chin like a furling in plant or wave. And just sensing the spine as it is a place that very much connects the energy body with the physical body. And then letting it come into more of a forward bend to your degree. So it becomes a seated cat and cow. Pulling front ribs towards back ribs, and then lifting sternum. And then from here, come back neutral. Interlace the hands. Pull the elbows apart and feel how that might light up the chest muscles a bit. And then same thing, starting with just the skull bones, looking to one side, breathing, continuing to bring the back of the head back and the crown of the head up. And then begin to take it into the upper back, flowing in a way that helps you to move your awareness through the thoracic spine, keeping the sit bones pressing down to rise up through the crown. And then coming back to center, releasing the arms down, taking it into a side bend. Again, just starting with ear to shoulder a bit. So you're getting into lateral flexion through the cervical spine, and then begin to take it into the rest of the spine. And for today's warm up, taking it into a flowing version of this. Lifting the rib cage, keep the floating ribs in and down so you can prioritize opening into the side ribs. Spinning pinky finger in and thumb out. And then from there, come back to center, take a moment. And then as if you had 2 paintbrushes on each hand, keeping the pelvis grounded, and then just sensing, if you were placed, stay with me on this, within a giant dome all of a sudden, or a dome bigger than your body, and you had 2 paintbrushes, and you were reaching to paint, or a roller, whatever you like, each place in that dome. So just sensing, how does that affect your ability to move your shoulders in a different way than if I just said move your arms. So sensing you're going to try to paint the whole of this dome that you're sitting within. Feel the way the arms become levers into the core and the torso. Noticing where you might be putting more paint on that dome because it's one of the easier access points, and where do you have to reach. And then come back to center, find a pause, and see if you can feel the echo of the movement. And then come right to the top. In your tabletop, press into the tops of the shins. Press the ground away. Similar to that cue we used last week of as if your hands and the tops of the feet were in wet concrete and you wanted to make an even print. From here, take a big breath in, and then on exhale, look towards the left foot. Keep the hips relatively square. Inhale back to center. Exhale, take it to the other side. Keep going at your own pace. This is a place where you could use the prop to the inner legs to stabilize pelvis. Keep breathing. And then from there, reach the left leg back, kick through the heel, stabilize that hip, use the low glute, reach the right arm forward, and then bring the thumb towards the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, lifting from back bottom ribs, bringing the elbow towards the knee. It might touch, it doesn't have to. Hugging front ribs towards back ribs, front core towards back core, and then keep going at your own pace. Find your extension, and then furling in a way that you can feel into energy body, physical body integration. A couple more at your own pace. And then place your limbs down, take a feeling breath, press the ground away. Keep the back of the head lifting towards the ceiling as the crown reaches forward, so we'll call that raking the head. And then with a lot of focus, reach back, move the right thigh bone away from the hip, roll the right inner thigh to the ceiling. You can warm up the ankle, circling a bit. Left arm forward, thumb to the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, move front ribs towards back ribs, elbow towards knee. Making that just the right version of that for you. And if you need to get off your joints, you can adapt all of this. And what part of it can you do? So you could come onto your back to do this. Feeling for the front core line, hugging towards the mid core and the back core. Come on back to tabletop, take a moment here. And then from there, go ahead and come on down to your back, getting a hold of your rolled up prop. Activate your feet. And then from here, we're going to start with rolling out into bridge. So feet could be underneath the knees or a bit forward. Outer edges of the feet are parallel. Grab your prop. You don't have to use the prop. You can use your intention. Relax the arms and then really give yourself a moment to feel the back on the ground. And notice what parts are touching, what parts are not. With your inhale, hug the front ribs towards the back ribs, broaden the back ribs. Exhale, light squeeze on the prop. Let it grow. So starting small. Pubic bone is lifting towards navel. Low belly is pulling in. Squeeze your prop. Lower down. Finding your own breath pattern here that works. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Lift up. Letting this grow in increments. Inhale, broaden back ribs across the floor into side ribs. Squeeze and lift up. Send thigh bones forward. Lowering down. Do a few more at your own pace, getting curious about this way of working with integration. And then from there, take a pause. Place your prop to the side. And then we'll come to the reverse way of working with the breath and the spine. So stay with my voice. Inhale, elbows press down, chest lifts. And then on your exhale, rock the low back onto the floor and pull the low belly in. And then play with this a little more. Can you get the thoracic spine a little more freed up? Exhale, rock the low back onto the floor, pull front ribs towards back ribs. Do a few more at your own pace. And when that feels complete, take a feeling breath. Feel for the echo of the movement. And then from here, we'll come into elbow to knee with inner legs towards each other. So picking both feet up off the floor, bringing the knees over the hips. And you can use a wall. If this feels like a lot in your back, put your feet on the wall. Bring the inner legs towards each other or together, depending on your structure. It's going to look different for everyone, like every pose. And then from here, interlace your hands behind the base of your skull bones, shoulders down, elbow tips, strong reach up, like you're trying to reach the ceiling with those elbows. From inner legs towards each other. Pick the head and chest up, relax the head into your hands, take a little bit of movement to see where you can do that. Inhale across the back bottom ribs and then squeeze the inner legs together. Reach the knees up and then on exhale, both elbows reach to the right, straightening through the left leg. Either 45 degrees to the ground or straight up can be easier on the back. Low belly pulls in. And then from there, stage 2, you're going to take the inner ankle, press the ankle onto the calf onto the inner ankle, curl up a second time, pull the low belly down. Inhale, bend both knees, squeeze the inner legs together, reach the knees up. Both elbows reach to the left, straighten through the right leg, either 45 degrees to the ground or straight up. Low belly pulls in. Stage 2, ankle presses in the calf, massaging the calf, waking it up. Curl up a second time, low belly pulls in. Inhale, bend both knees. Squeeze inner legs, reach the knees straight up, and then on exhale, both elbows reach right, straighten through the left leg, moving the thigh bone, moving energy from pelvis through the inner ankle, low belly pulls in, ankle to calf, press, curl up a second time, low belly pulls in, inhale, bend both knees, squeeze inner legs, curl the tailbone up, exhale, elbows left, straighten through the right leg, low belly pulls in, press, ankle into calf, curl up a second time, low belly pulls in. Come back to center, come into feet together, knees wide, or knees together, feet wide. And then feel for uptaking the nutrients of that work with the large muscles of the lower body. From there, bring the feet flat, and then you can rock the knees side to side to feel into using the heat you're generating to warm up the hips a bit more. And then roll onto one side, come up to your tabletop to set up for downward facing dog. So from table, hands are gonna come forward, find that even pouring of weight, shoulders down, curl the toes under, keep the knees bent to start, hugging front core line to back core line, and then straightening the legs or not, maybe keeping the knees bent if it helps you to really deepen the hip hinge and take the front hip back and up. From here, walk into a forward fold, hands to feet to hands, get the outer edges of the feet parallel. And then from here, either interlace the hands on the neck, giving your neck a massage. You could hold the inner elbows. You could have your hands on props. Exhaling. Using this in a way that can help you make spaciousness on the level of your energy, on the level of spine, on the level of your joints. And then from here, take your thumbs to the front hip points and press the hip hinge back. Engage the low abs, come up with a flat back. Come to the top of the mat to get into your Tadasana. And then again, reset, outer edges of the feet parallel, using that metaphor of pouring into concrete to see where you can make your footprints. Bring hands to touch. And then feeling the power of intent. In the yoga practice, we call this sankalpa. Feeling the breath on your fingertips, placing your hands in a way that you can do that. Relaxing the skull bones to receive grace from the furthest reaches of the universe. And then from there, like you're picking up a ball, lift your ribs, keep the pelvis very steady by using the low glutes, reaching through the heels, and then open chest and shoulders. Exhale, fold, relaxing the neck as you come into your forward bend. Step the left leg back. If you need more padding, you can fold the mat in or use one of your props. Press into the left shin and the whole right foot. Evenly keep that press, lift the pubic bone, and then again, like you're picking up an imaginary ball. Open the front of shoulders, wrap shoulder blades. So that means spin pinky fingers in so you're broadening the upper back. Bring the hands down, step back into plank. You can bring knees up or knees down. Engage the low abs. As you lower, shoulders move away from the ears and towards the ceiling. Lift each leg, move the thigh bone away from the hip, and then place the top of the foot and the shin down. Come to your cobra, find that even press the hands, pull each set of ribs forward. Let the gaze follow the heart, lower down. Hands under shoulders, shoulders away from ears, press the ground away, and come back into downward facing dog. Feel for the pelvis being the origin of the movement. And then from there, left leg is gonna step forward, either right between the hands or a bit outside and then scooching it in. Press into right shin, left foot, sweep up. Wrap shoulder blades, pubic bone curling up to find the front of the quads a bit more on the right. Front foot, step up. Come on up. You can play with either rolling up or flat back, depending what feels better. Lift your ribs, open into the front line, hands come to touch. Let's come right into the next round, sweeping up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right leg steps back. Press into both feet, sweep up. And then come on back into your plank. Press the ground away, active hands, active feet, either knees up or knees down, lower. Reach back, feel into the pressing of the pelvis onto towards the floor, and then peel chest forward. Reach heart forward, lower down.
shoulders away from ears as you come into your down dog. And then from there, using your core to take the right leg forward, either outside the hand or straight up the mat or something in between. Press the ground away. Tailbone down, pubic bone, reach up. Frame the front foot, step up. And then come on up. Lift ribs, open chest and shoulders. Let's come into one more round of sweeping up. Exhale, clear it out. Inhale, left leg is stepping back. Feeling into the power of the lower body. Get into your lunges. Step back into your plank. Lower down, resisting gravity to smooth it out. Reach back. Press into all of the feet, all the shins. Peel the ribs forward and up. Hands can be under shoulders, or as you can see, it's better for me to come wider and a little forward. So feel what is the best for your shoulders. Use the power of the exhale to press the ground away. Feel for front hip points moving up and back, deepening that hip hinge, getting the center of gravity back, getting the weight out of the arms, step the leg forward. Sweeping up, finding this quality of salutation towards the sun, framing the front foot, step back into plank. High quality transition. Use the low abs to stabilize. Cobra. Use the glutes and the back line of the legs. Press into Adho Mukha Svanasana, down face dog. And then from there, step the left leg forward, come into your lunge. Frame the front foot, relax the neck, step up, and come on up. Tailbone down. Reaching up, hands come and touch. Take a feeling breath. Let's get in a chair. So feet either could be at hips width distance, that's my preference. Sometimes people like to bring the big toes together. If that works for your structure, you can do that. And then get the front hip points back. Get the knees over the ankles as best you can. Let's come forward first to get that weight back. And then come on up. Maybe the arms stay straight. Maybe they come like you're holding a big ball. Tailoring this to what is going on in your body, feeling those relationships between parts. Feel for purposefully cooking some healing heat for yourself, and then straighten legs and clear it out. Exhale. Inhale into flat back. You can use blocks, you can have hands, shins, or thighs. Either way, you want to reach the heart forward. And then exhale, step back into your plank. Let's do some shoulder shrugs in both, lower down. Reach the legs back, and then lift the legs, lift the shoulders, lift the chest. Hover the hands off the floor next to the shoulders, about 6 inches away from shoulders, 6 inches away from the ground. Inhale, broaden upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, and elbow tips. Inhale, broaden upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, and elbow tips. Inhale, curl pubic bone, lift the upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, elbow tips. And then take a moment, find the opposite. Feel the front line being protected and held by the earth. See if you can energetically make a choice to belong to the earth. Giving and receiving energy. From here, hands under shoulders, press the ground away, come back into downward facing dog. Next pose is warrior one. So from here, we're gonna come into arch your arms. So you might want to strap. I will definitely need a strap. Left leg forward. Options, either turn the foot to the outer edge of the mat, about 45 degrees, or flip onto the ball of the foot, which is my preference. If you have scar tissue or something, or any kind of hip thing, this is gonna be a good move. And so let's do archer arms. So right arm is reaching up, Left arm, thumb points down, get a hold of the strap or connect your hands. Activate your feet, turn on your deep breathing. Wrap the right bicep towards the ear and reach the elbow towards the ceiling. Take a big breath in and then move the left shoulder and shoulder blade down. Keep reaching elbows in both directions. From here, option one is to stay upright. Option two would be come forward, torso towards or on the thigh. Another option is to fold inside the thigh. I needed to widen my stance in order to balance there, so play with your stance. Give yourself some breath support. From there, come on up, release the bind. And then from there, straighten the back leg, grab something to bring the floor up to you. Kick through that leg. If you have a wall there, you can literally kick into the wall. It's a great prop. And then if the hip is splaying out, tuck the hip back. Strong reach of the crown of the head forward. Inhale here. And then exhale, straighten the front leg and fold. Thinking of that metaphor of as if the front foot were making a print in wet cement. Roll the right inner thigh back to keep stabilizing through the hips. And then from here, hop the back foot in. We'll use a bit of a similar metaphor as if you were just placed within a dome around your whole body. Relax the neck. Inhaling, lift the right leg as if you had a paintbrush on that leg. See, where can you reach if you were trying to paint with your lifted leg? Either letting the head hang, looking towards the navel, or looking straight to the mat, if that's better for your balance and body. Playing with it. And then from here, stepping that leg back. The last pose on this side is lounge lunge. So come through, legs of low lunge. Use this to uptake the viscous quality of the previous pose. Lounge lunge. Hold on to the front of the left shin. If you have any wrist tweakiness, you can put the forearm on a block. I'm going to angle this way so you can see what I'm doing. The right hand begins under the shoulder and then scoots forward and to the right. So you're keeping a strong reach. I'm going to actually switch sides so you can see this side. You're keeping a strong reach through the back leg. And then you're letting the ribs come forward and towards the ground. Keep breathing. So this is a psoas stretch, which is a hip flexor. Unwind your lounge lunge, come through your plank, and we'll come through another boat pose, lower all the way down. Reach through your strong legs. Either keep your arms straight with palms down or interlace the hands, lift the legs. Reach through the back line of the legs. Use your breath. Use your upper back. Bring the crown of the head forward, the back of the head towards the ceiling. Curl the pubic bone toward the navel. And then find that opposite let go. Either forehead on the mat or turning the head, relaxing the core. Using these quieter poses as good opportunities to absorb the energy you're generating. From here, hands on your shoulders, shoulder blades away from ears, press the ground away to come back. Playing with your down dogs to get into that feeling of receiving energy through arms into heart, sending it out through the belly and the legs. Set the right leg forward, warrior one. So again, either spinning the back foot to the outer edge of the mat or flipping onto the ball of the foot. Once you're there, kick into the ground, lift the pubic bone, And if you're using it, grab your strap. Left arm up, spin the right thumb down, get a hold of the strap, or connect your hands. Wrap the left bicep towards the ear, reach the elbow up. On exhale, slide the right shoulder and shoulder blade down. And then stay. Feeling for when you purposefully put yourself in a spot or a shape to see how do you respond to what shows up. Spreading through your active feet to keep grounding yourself, lifting pubic bone, low belly engages. And then from here, either staying upright, bringing the torso parallel to the floor, or folding inside the thigh. Feel how that changes how you're working on the shoulders in this bind. Keep receiving the information that comes in the form of sensation, energy, thoughts. Keep checking in with your eyes and your jaw. Bring the torso up, release the prop, and then reset to a straight left leg. And really feeling for this quality of hugging muscle to bone on that back leg, making space in the joints. So you can make space in the hip joint, the knee joint, noticing what shows up when you work with this intention of integration. Crown of the head reaching forward, shoulders away from ears, soft neck, soft gaze. And then straighten the front leg, pouring weight all across the foot, feeling like you're lengthening the big toe, spreading across the toes to your degree. And then checking out, where are the hips? Are they centered? You can come out of center to come back in. And then from there, if you have a little bit more to go, lengthen the spine and fold back over. And then from there, feel for using your low abs to hop that back foot in, perhaps resetting your props to the low side. And then again, as if you were encased in a dome and your left foot was a paintbrush, tap it down and then see where you can keep covering different areas. And how does that affect the other parts? Either looking towards the navel or looking straight towards the standing foot. Noticing how imagination affects your movement. And then the next pose, lounge lunge. So set up, legs of low lunge, gently place the knee down, come on up. Hold on to the front of that right shin, and then start with left hand under shoulder, perhaps the elbows on a block, walking that hand on a bit of a diagonal, stabilize using a strong left leg, and then any amount, take the left ribs forward in towards the ground. Relaxing the neck. And then this is an integration pose in and of itself. So when you're doing some hot work in your standing poses, it gets a little bit quieter so you can take in the information and take in the energy. Feel for how does it affect your heart to do work with the pelvis and the legs. Feeling the integration between upper body and lower body work. Unwind your lounge lunge and come back up to the top of the mat. Come on up. Lift your ribs. Open into the front body, hands come to touch. And then from here, come into horse stance with or without props. So we'll do a drill that also engages proprioceptive awareness, imagination that most of you have probably done with me. So upward facing wide stance. So general rule of thumb is wrists over ankles, spin the toes out, and then come on down. Give yourself some time to get into front hip point and back hip point alignment, stacking ribs, stacking skull bones. And then keep breathing, keep using your legs, and as if there was a bubble machine filling the room with bubbles, again, with or without props, as if you were trying to catch as many of those bubbles, and really sensing how does imagination change your movement. Keep breathing, keep seeing how far can you reach, where is it easy to reach, where is it a stretch. From there, place your props down, straighten the legs, sweep out. Take a moment in your 5-pointed star. So you're extending through legs, extending through arms, and just sensing yourself, letting the energy that you're generating move where it wants and needs to go. And then from there, bring the feet so the toes are facing forward. Come on up, warrior 2. Pivot the left toes forward. You can pick up that back foot and spin it out. So you're rolling the thigh in. And then you can play with it. Over time, you're going towards a 90-degree angle. See what feels like the right amount of challenge. And then from there, take the hand onto the head of the thigh bone, pressing on the head of the quads, and then get a hold of your front hip point and just see where you can play with this. Feeling for the quality of touch, how you're communicating respect. And then from there, staying in warrior 2, reach both arms out. You can either keep the gaze forward if that feels better on your neck, or look over the front middle finger, maybe look back and forth a bit. That feels pretty good to my neck. Use the heat to release tension in the neck. From here, straighten the front leg. Again, making space in that hip, sweep up. Make one line all the way from the left foot to the left fingers. Come on up, half moon. So choosing your own stopping point here, get the outer edge of the foot parallel to the long edge of the mat, engage the outer hip and the low glute, which is a process. That isolation move is not a one-time thing. Maybe you just begin to pour some weight and that is your edge. Maybe you begin to lift the back leg, playing with stacking the hip. Maybe you hold on to the hip, maybe you reach the arm up. Maybe gazing forward, maybe gazing up. Lifting the back leg, reaching through the inner leg, and then come on down. Take yourself through a vinyasa or come right back into downward facing dog. So I'm going to talk us through cobra. You could do up dog if that's in your practice. Telescope the ribs in your cobra. Let the gaze follow the heart. Strong reach through the legs. Come on back into down dog. Spreading the breath through the heart and then sending it through the legs. And let's bring the left leg forward, right leg forward, come into warrior 2 on the other side. If you have the mobility, pick up the back foot and spin it out. It's also fine to have it parallel. So on my back leg for this side, I keep it parallel because of scar tissue. And then play with what gets into cooking up some heat for your body. Lift the pubic bone, reach out through both arms. Oh, let's do that self-assist. Grab onto the top of the thigh, scoop down and forward. So you're coaching space. Lift, get a hold of the, what we call ASIS, the front hip point, lift it away from the head of the thigh bone. Kick into the foot, reach out through both arms. And then either look forward or take some therapeutic movement, looking around a bit, and then settle your gaze. Feel what shows up. Come into checking in with your rib cage. Are you broadening, lifting the ribs? Exhale, kick into the ground. Stay in the lunge, come out of the lunge. Straighten the front leg, wrap the right shoulder blade, making space. Lengthen the big toe on the right. Bring front down to help you find the side body. Use your hand to help if that's useful. From there, hop the back foot in. Half moon, so outer edge of the right foot is aligned to the long edge of the mat. From there, pouring weight on that standing leg, setting up a block. Maybe this is where you're working. Further to go, you're going to externally rotate the back leg, stacking the hip. Maybe you're reaching up. Maybe you hold the hip. Either way, keep dynamically moving the thigh bones from the hips, curling pubic bone towards navel. Lift the back leg a bit higher, and then slight bend in the knees and come on down. Again, vinyasa or come right back into down dog. So you could come through plank to up dog or lower all the way down to come through cobra. In your down dog, take the feet a bit closer to each other and with a lot of focus, lift the right leg. Keep the hips square to start. Bend into the knee and pulse towards the ceiling and then begin to open the hip. So it's similar movement to what the hip is doing in half moon. Playing with that same cue as if you were encased. Where can you reach to? Playing with your edge here. And then switch sides. Bring both feet down. Give yourself a couple of breaths to reset. Maybe you bring the knees down, come on back. With a lot of focus, lift the left leg. You could play with pointing and flexing. Bend the knee, pulse the heel to activate the glute, and then open the hip. And using that same suggestion as if you had a paintbrush on your foot and you were seeing how far within an imaginary dome could you reach. And then from there, come back into your down dog. Take a big breath in. Everything out. Keep the breath out. Pull the belly back. And then relax the belly. Inhale. Coming to a seat, either sitting on the heels or sitting on a prop. Getting some friction going, and then placing your hands onto your neck, maybe partially onto your jaw and your neck. And perhaps massaging the neck a bit, feeling for how do you communicate respect, and how do you study the integration of the energy body and the physical body in this very sensitive area, neck, head, eyes. And then notice the difference if we do when we're a bit warmed up already, coming into half bird wing. So hug the right upper arm in, actively reach the palm into that parallel to the floor stance. Take the ear to the shoulder. And then again, a couple of options depending on what you're working with. Either lengthening the crown of the head and the jaw away from the side of the neck, or cradling your head to manage less sensation. Another activation move is to press head into hand, hand into head. So you're giving your nervous system a job. If you have some tension in your system, press, 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 and then let go. And then staying here wherever you're working on the ear to shoulder, and then just take a few bird wings so the forearm moves away from the torso. Feeling this integration between parts. How does the shoulder girdle affect the neck and upper back? From there, roll the chin forward so the tip of the nose is towards left upper chest, and draw a, sort of like a smile shape, something that gets into the neck a bit differently. Cover your forehead, massaging into the brow point, put your head back up. Take a moment here. Exhale out, maybe fluttering the lips. And then from here, half bird wing, whichever side you didn't do yet. Right arm could hug to upper side ribs. Hand is spreading through the whole palm. Bring the elbow out, hug in, shoulder and shoulder blade down, and then take the ear to the shoulder, any amount. And then again, maybe you're reaching over and helping take the side of the skull bones away from the top of the spine. Maybe you're covering the ear, cradling your head, or active release. Press head into hand into head, press and let go. When you're ready, roll. Actually, before we do that, begin to come into like a quiet bird wing to study. Internal rotation, hand comes forward. External rotation, arm goes out. How does that affect what you experience in the neck? And when you activate the hand or not, feel how different that move is. And then roll the chin towards the right upper chest. Make sort of a smile face or anything that helps you find another spot in the neck so that the energy of the upper chakras can integrate with the rest of the central channel. Being brave enough to feel. Cradling your brain into your hand, massaging, seeing if there's another place you feel drawn to comfort or touch. And then put your head back up. And then from here, taking any movements or perhaps stillness here to do some integration. Before Shavasana. Respecting the body's natural intelligence to do what it does, which is reorganize, heal, learn, change. And then set yourself up for Shavasana, feeling the very specific energetics of this threshold in the class where you walk through into Shavasana. Feeling the therapeutic aspect of the horizontal plane.
Beginning to bring your awareness to the breath. Purposefully touching yourself respectfully with your breath inside. As a way to help those parts of you that might have gone into dissociation and gone somewhere else, or gone quiet and furled up inside, as a way to welcome out some part of yourself that needs to be brought back online and nourished. This incredible skill of yoga to bring us from disconnect into connection and integration. When you're ready, pressing into the ground to bring yourself back up. Sensing the weight of the pelvis rooting down, and then from there spreading through the toes, and then incrementally seeing where you can make any amount of space as you lift up through the spine, bringing the hands to touch, feeling for the energetic quality of the breath as you're breathing, the shared breath, even in virtual space. And then sealing our time together. Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karuna.
Thank you.